Hey y'all, I'm back for an update. This video basically is going to be like a frequently asked questions because a lot of people have commented or messaged me, and I'm pretty much getting the same questions. So I wanted to kind of answer them in a video so that other people can know the answer, and yeah. But before I get to the FAQs, I just wanted to tell you that I haven't taken my ASTB test yet, but I take it on next Tuesday, February the 19th. So I'm very, 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 very excited about that. I'm ready for it. I'm amped up. My recruiter gave me some study materials and practice tests, so I feel pretty confident that I'm going to do good on it. One thing to note for everybody that's going as an officer candidate, you cannot use a calculator on the math portion of the ASTB test. So I suggest you study, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, fractions, and things like that. The stuff that you would normally use a calculator for, because you can't use a calculator, they're going to give you some scrap paper and a pencil. I did ask my recruiter that today, and I was kind of like, dang, man, can't use a calculator? What? So yeah, so from now until next Tuesday, I have to really study and try to do this stuff by hand and make sure I have it down right. And y'all don't have to excuse my nappy head, and I look a little rough right now. I was getting ready for bed and decided I needed to make this video because I had been meaning to make it for a couple of days and I haven't. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of make this video or whatever. So anyway, on to the questions that I usually get. What are the major parts of the ASTB test that you need to study for? For anybody applying to the Navy as an officer candidate, there are 6 parts to the ASTB test, but if you aren't trying to do flight or pilot or anything like that, then you only have to take the first 3 parts, which are mathematics knowledge, reading comprehension, and mechanical comprehension. And between the 3 scores, you have to score a 50 or higher. So usually, once you talk to your recruiter, I think most recruiters give you some study material. My recruiter did, and it was very, very, very helpful. If not, I can send you a link to a practice test that I found really helpful. So yeah, so reading comprehension, math, and mechanical comprehension are the 3 major parts of the ASTB. If you want to do pilot or anything with flight or anything like that in the Navy, then there are 3 other parts you have to take, but I don't really know anything about that because I'm not taking those parts. So, but I probably can get the information for you, so just let me know if you need it. Hair cutting. I had a few people ask me, did my recruiter tell me that I'll have to get my hair cut, or do I know anything about them changing the rule on that? I did ask my recruiter, and he said that you will have to get your hair cut. It has to be above your collar, so it needs to be about right here. If you don't get it cut before you go to OSC, they will cut it when you get there. Or for enlisted, it will be boot camp for you. But either way, females will have to get their hair cut to above the collar. I believe the males will have to get their hair in the military cut. As far as dreads, I don't know too much about dreads. I'm sure that they still have to meet regulation, so you probably will have to cut them. I've heard some people say that you have to get your dreads cut off because you can't have dreads, but I don't know if that's true or not. I suggest you ask a recruiter. What are the minimum age requirements and minimum weight requirements? My recruiter told me, I guess for officer program, the maximum age is 29, and for the minimum age, it'll have to be like 21 or 22, because to enlist as an officer, you have to have a bachelor's degree. So most people graduate with their bachelor's around 21, 22 years old, somewhere in there. For enlisted, I think as long as you're 18, you can enlist. I don't know what the max on that is. For weight, I'm not sure. I suggest you Google it, see what you can find, or just ask your recruiter. I know they have maximum weights for each height, but I don't know about minimum weights. Another question was, what do you need to take when you meet your recruiter? The first time I met my recruiter, I didn't take anything. I just went and met him in his office and talked to him, and we basically like reviewed what the whole process as far as applying for officer candidate school. We just talked about the entire process from taking the ASTB test, MEPS, going off, picking my job, going off to sending my application off to the Pro Select Board and the Final Select Board, and then going to OCS training, blase, blase. So the first time I met a recruiter, I didn't have to take anything. After I talked to him, he did tell me I needed to go ahead and get my college transcripts together, find my birth certificate, my social security card, so that then when I get ready to actually do the application, he'll already have all that stuff to send in. Um, so you really don't need anything the first time you go, and if you do need something after that, like the second meeting or anytime you if the recruit after that, they'll let you know what you need. Let's see. Somebody asked me, well, several people asked me, why did I choose to go officer instead of enlisted, and do I feel I will be less respected since I was never enlisted? The reason I chose to go officer instead of enlisted is because, one, I'm qualified to go officer, so why start at the bottom and work your way up if you already qualified to go in at a higher rank? Um, and I feel like I will be a good leader, and I want to be an officer. That was the whole point of me going to college and getting my degree and then enlisting, is because I didn't want to start at the bottom and work my way up and then try to get into officer school and blah blah blah. I went and got qualified so that I can go in as an officer and do my job. As far as what do I feel like I'll be less respected, I mean, that's on any job. If you get a better job than somebody else who's been there a while, you come in as the newbie in a higher position, then there's always going to be people that, might not necessarily respect you or like you or whatever the case may be. But the way I feel about that, and this could be wrong, but this is just me. If you're qualified to do it, then if you were qualified, you would get the job. Or don't be mad because you didn't take the necessary steps to be qualified to come in at a higher rank. And at the end of the day, you have to listen to what I say because I'm a higher rank than you. So that's just what it is. I personally don't care if people, have full respect for me or like me or whatever. I mean, they just come with the territory. And like I said, that's any job you go to. If you come in as a new person with a higher rank than somebody who's been there 8, 10 years, they're not gonna like that. So whatever. I don't really care. Um, Let me think what else. I suggest I had a lot of people just kinda asking me like questions that you can find if you just go to the Navy website. And I don't have a problem answering anybody's questions. I'm here to help. I want to share my experience and provide as much information as I can. But I do suggest, go on the Navy website, or if you're looking at another military branch, go on their website, really look at what they have on their website and see if they have the answers to your questions. Google. I did a lot of Googling and watching a lot of YouTube videos to find out information. And the main reason I started my vlog is because a lot of the YouTube videos are for enlisted, well, people trying to go in as enlisted and the process for an enlisted um, sailor, but I want to go in as an officer. So I didn't find as many videos on on the officer process, so that's why I started this. But I'm here to help, and I want to provide as much information as I can. Um, on Tuesday I take my test, so probably Tuesday night or next Tuesday night or next Wednesday I'll post another video about the officer candidate test and how it goes and everything, keeping my fingers crossed. So, yeah. But that's all I have for now. If you have any questions or anything, just send them to me and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. And that's about it. So, good night, y'all. Deuce, deuce.